Good morning, everyone. Check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2. All right, everybody, good morning. Oh, where is that coming from? That was an ending too quick. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show that Pedro and I call DYOR Live. Pedro's not with us this morning, might join us in the second hour of the show. Got some stuff working on, stuff that he's working on, that real life stuff getting in the way of broadcasting our show. I know, I do the same thing all the time. But anyway, it is, I got to look at the date again because I do every time, the 11th of December. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 11th of December. Not many days left till Christmas, that's for sure. Nope. As a common thing, you hear me talk about introducing the show starting in January, how many days till Christmas it is. It's almost time for Christmas, almost time for New Year's, almost time for the sun to go supernova. And Christmas is right about here. Anyway, but lots of good stuff going on. Bitcoin's still waffling around in that 90,000 area, still in what we call a consolidation phase for the past, I don't know, you can see on these charts beside me, not going anywhere. And we're not having much luck figuring out what's trying to going on with the month. Last night I was on the Space Lounge in the premium edition of this show, and we talked about Bitcoin and basically came to a conclusion that it's just chilling. It's just chilling. Remember, I'm new at doing this. I'm not an expert at trying to figure out where it goes. If you want an expert to find out where it goes, go watch Sam Price on Crypto Lifer. It gives you a top-down Bitcoin review every day, a couple times a day actually. If you're in his Discord, I would love to be able to do that, but I don't have the skills for that yet. But that doesn't mean I'm trying. Doesn't mean I'm trying, and I'm working on it. So in the Space Lounge evening editions, I do that. And so I encourage all of you to, on Rumble here, to join this button below. It says register here. If you're over watching on YouTube, which I see a couple of you are, feel free to join us on Rumble. Go over to rumble.com and type DYOR Media and go in and join us here. That's our primary place, and we'd really appreciate it. Anyway, good stuff today going on. The theme of the show here today, DEGEN ETFs. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's a DEGEN ETF. I mean, I talk about all the time trying to get the DEGEN part of my trading life out of me. Get it out. Bring the emotion to the SPOC level. So I just trade rules-based. I don't DEGEN. I don't FOMO. Don't do any of that type of stuff. And VanEck says, oh, hold on there, Striking. Hold on. We want to take your money in another way. And it's the DEGEN ETF. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. I mentioned BTC, just kind of waffling, doing a little bit of consolidation here, up, down, all around. If you're watching the minute chart, it's been quite volatile. If you're watching the 4-hour chart like this, not very volatile at all. And Michael Saylor in the news. He was the keynote speaker at Bitcoin MENA, Bitcoin Middle East North Africa, over in Abu Dhabi. And he laid out his plan to conquer the world again. As you know from listening to this show, I've talked about this. I was not able to understand what the heck was going on with Saylor and what his plan was, other than just spending as much possible money as he can on Bitcoin. And then I watched a key interview a while ago, and I was like, aha! And he laid that out in one of the best sales pitches I've ever seen. We'll talk about that later, too. And he knocked it dead, and he explained exactly what he's doing. And so far, his treasury company is still doing just fine. Pedro wanted me to talk about the ETH trade and the Bitcoin trade that he's talking about yesterday. He didn't update the TradeWave app, so I don't know what the exact trades were. I'll try and figure them out. Also, in my quest to predict the months here, Pedro wanted me to remind you that it's likely we're going to come lower, and if it does come lower, we should see a good month. The old adage, got to go down before you go up. So we'll talk about that as well. Right now, hope you like the different in the intro today. This space music type thing. It was pretty cool. I said, and Fire Chicken even says, now that is a beat coming into the show start. Yes, it is. It was pretty good. Dude, what is that song? I don't know. It's this, let me see if they list the songs in their, Chuck, I'm just going to send you the link to the video, and you can look in their. The guy has a list to his music. I'm not actually supposed to use his music in this, but I'll go ahead and I'll buy that. He offers them for sale, and I will buy it to support him. He's another creator, but I will drop that. I dropped it in your TG there, Chuck. That particular song was in the first 13 minutes. It was around the 13-minute mark. 13 to 17-minute mark in that link that I sent you. I know, it's pretty good. It was pretty driving. I was like, just looking around for stuff. I do a lot of this space atmospheric music for when I'm working and stuff like that. It just fills the background nicely. And I look for the channels that don't, since I should pay for YouTube Premium, but I don't know why I pay for Rumble Premium. But a lot of these channels have commercials, and I look for them, the ones that don't, that they pay to not have commercials, so you can listen to music without, like bands. They have a banjo. You don't want your song right in the middle, right? The guitar, so comfortably on guitar solo. Wow, wow, wow. Do you need Depends or Viagra? And this one, unfortunately, has commercials in the middle of it. So I try to stay away from it, but that intro beat was cool. I'll put a little bit more of it on. Not sure you guys can hear any of it. This is perfect music for the Space Lounge. Anyway, let's get into. Wait, you know what? Let's see what we got for advertising. Now, you guys might think, those of you that are not regulars of the show, you might think, oh, this is where I need to click off. No, I enjoy this reading the advertising things, and I do a good show. I continuously get notes from the Rumble advertisers saying, hey, you did an outstanding job, not like the other normal people. And so I enjoy it. So now I go to the various sponsors that we have, see what they have the offer, accept. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think the biggest threat to your retirement is? Now, that's something that most people don't talk about. Now, we do talk about it here on DYOR Live extensively. But our increased longevity in America means default retirement accounts like IRAs, 401ks, TSPs may not suffice. If you have over $100,000 in your retirement account, get instant access to a free 2-minute report from Augusta Precious Metals that reveals the one step you can take to secure your financial future. Text SAFE, S-A-F-E, to 35052 today. It's one of those short code things. It might say it's going to cost you, but most phone plans don't actually charge you for that. So text SAFE, S-A-F-E, to 35052 today. Right over there, there's a QR code, ladies and gentlemen, that says Augusta Gold, text SAFE to 35052 for your report on how Augusta Precious Metals and Augusta Gold can help you with your retirement and protect you from the biggest threat to retirement, which is longevity and inflation. That's right. Anyway, if you're watching on a big screen TV, hold your cell phone up and pop that QR code. Put your eyeballs on our advertisers. We really appreciate it. It helps us out. Even if you just click it and look at their stuff and don't buy anything, it really helps us out getting the word out about our show. It helps our advertisers understand that we have real audiences and real demographics. If you're watching on your cell phone, there's a link in the chat. Please pop that. Go look at it. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. There's a link in the description. Thank you to Augusta Gold for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in already. Really appreciate it. Music is gets you going. Anyway, let's get to the Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do it. I've been talking about the month and the monthly cycle and all that type of stuff. And this box here represents the month of December, where our general idea for the trading range, and of course the length of the month. And this is the daily chart here. So obviously we got a lot of days left on the chart here. We started the month just up a little bit. Thus, Pedro and I are thinking the end of the month will be a little bit down. Same in, same out, usually. I shouldn't say same in, same size in, same size out. Opposite directions. And so this week, Pedro and I were calling for a down. We wanted it to go up to 95,000 first. Went up to 94.5. 94.5 right before my order to sell. My sell order was at 95 even. Went to 94.5. You're like, no, just a little bit more. Didn't, came back down. But still looking at the, we'll go over the charts here in a little bit. Still has the possibility of hitting that 95 before coming back down. But as Pedro wanted to say, he's got, for both Ethereum and Bitcoin, he's got targeted buy orders down here in the 80s, which we are just flirting with right now. Don't have the great pricing thing up. There. 89,000 and change. And Pedro feels that it's good. It's good for it to come down because then we can finish stronger, even if it's down for the rest of the month. And, I have it coming back up the next week, just because that's the typical pattern. But it doesn't matter. It can stay down here and then finish strong for the month. But I don't think so. I think it's going to follow the typical pattern. If it goes up at the beginning of the time frame, it's going to go down at the end of the time frame. And as we all know, the end of any time period is generally the opposite of the beginning of it. Generally, not all the time, but also there's really very little liquidity in the markets at the end of the year. I mean, first of all, giant Christian holiday, so everyone's off on Christmas for that. The rest of the world that's not Christian takes vacation too, because there's not a lot going on in the financial world. Obviously, China's not on vacation for Christmas, but they do have a big New Year's Eve multi-day holiday. New Year's Eve is, as you well know, in the fireworks industry, is very, very big in China. Always has, 5,000 years. All right, let's get to the other Bitcoin chart. Here we have the 1 minute chart here today. And as many of you know, one of the things that I like to trade is the 1 minute, I call it the SAM price special. The SAM price special, and that is the 1 minute chart. It starts at the 1 minute chart. It's not just on the 1 minute chart, but it starts on the 1 minute chart. When price action comes back up through the 200 period moving average, this is red line here, comes back up and then confirms with the 8 period moving average and then the 21 period moving average. And when that does, it leads to Pump City. Now, where does that not work? Here's a good example of it over here. I usually can't point this far on the screen without getting cut off. Price action comes up after dipping down a little too close. It should be, in order for this model to work, it needs to be outside the 200 periods. If it's within 200 periods of it, it usually is too close for it to work. But I'll just go over it here because these are some good examples of why you need to wait. A lot of times people front run it. Price action's above 200 period moving average, so they're like, I'm going to front run it because it's going higher. It's going higher. And yep, you're right. Look, it's going higher, and the 8 period is moving up with it. That's good. Confirms that we're moving up. Then the 21 period's moving up. And really what you want to see is 21 period cross the price action. Guess what it's doing right here? It's crossing the price action. Guess what it's also doing here? Crossing it on the way down. So obviously you want to hold out there. You want this to be crossing at a consolidation place or on the way up. And so as a result, it comes back down and you would get stopped out down here in your trade. Follow through a couple of minutes. We're in the 200 period zone. Say, okay, good. Good may work. Not quite close enough. Comes back up. You're like, all right, it's going to do it again. So you're going to front run it here. 8 periods coming up. You're like, yes, I'm right. It's going to go for a good pump this morning. 21 period falters.
And so are we. Discover and experience.
See the
We're not.
That was pretty funny. You were unlike the rest. The 8 period falters here. I'm sorry, the 21 period falters here. Catches it on the way down again. And then we sink back down below the 200 period moving average. And that trade setup fails once again. But if you don't front run it, this shirt's making me look, in the camera angle, fisheye, making me look Nice and fat this morning. And the green screen's thinning out my hair too. Listen, I got the old guy filter on today. Anyway, here we have a different situation. Oh, look at this. This is playing right into what I wanted to talk about today. The 200 period moving average here. I feel like the weatherman now. I need the screen over here. Let's do that here. I have the capability of doing it. Way out. Projector, screen 1, 3. That's not what I wanted. I'm really liking this music. New window, live scene. All right, so now I can look this way into it. All right, so now you can see the 200 period moving average here. It's coming up. The 8's going with it. It sinks a little bit here. Oh, I'm not as good as the reverse. I'm not as good this way. The reverse, or it starts dropping down a little bit. 21 period now crosses price action, but it stopped on its way down and it's on its way up. So now this is a double confirming thing here, and I would get in on this right now. I'm already in a demo trade. I don't want to open another one, but we're going to follow this one throughout the show. And hey, day trading live right here. So at this point, I would consider myself long right here where it crossed on the way up here, and be a nice 1 minute chart trade. And if you remember me talking about it before, it was just a few minutes ago when I said this trade setup for me, everyone's different. For me, starts at the 1 minute chart. Where you want to do is you want to build it up into the 5 minute chart for some real strength, and then 15 minute chart and all that type of stuff. We're going to switch to the 3 minute chart to see what's going on here. Well, this is interesting too. All right, we're below the 200 period moving average on the 3 minute chart. Not a lot of people watch the 3 minute chart here, so not as much. But you can see the price is following the 8 period, and the 21 period is moving along. So it's crossing that line here. So, and as the time frame gets longer, as you do this trade setup on a 3 minute chart, 5, 10, 15, 1 hour, 5 hour, 29 hour, whatever you want, it gets stronger and less volatile. Because as we know in these short-term charts, a big sell program could come in and just boop, just drop the whole thing and stop you out. All right, let's go to the 5 minute chart here. All right, see on the 5 minute chart, look at my lines. I must have been drinking last night on the show. Hint, I was. All right, so in the 5 minute chart, this looks really strong for me for this reason here. Price has been coming down. I gotta do that. Price started over here much higher, came down a lot here, and moved, consolidated along here for quite a long period of time here. So we haven't crossed the 200 period moving average in a while. And you can see up here that the exact same thing failed for similar reasons. 5 minute chart, the price, now this mess was yesterday during the FOMC thing, so it's kind of not a true model, but you see the price action came up. Price action, where'd it go? Price action came up here, started crossing the 200 period, 8 and 21 came up. You're like, okay, good. You would get on it, get in this trade. It was at 92, 300, 92, 200 for a short-term trade of probably a little bit higher, 94, 94 and a half. And you would have your sell. Actually, this one may have worked out. This number here, the 93 something, I think is one. It's either the monthly or the weekly open. So you'd have your sell order right before that, and then it came back down, went back under the 200 period moving average, and ideally you would like to see well, this is a little bit of a cup and handle, not a cup and handle, an Adam and Eve according to Mr. Price. See this move here? And we're below the 200 period moving average, so I'm looking for this in the next next 20 minutes or so to do this, go up above here, up to 91,000 or so. DeFi Dude in the house. Thank you, DeFi Dude. Dara, coming all the way to us from España. Such the international crowd. I'm in Canada. Chuck's in, well, Oklahoma, its own country. And we have an Irishman in Spain. I need that guy from Taiwan back. And Mr. Zimbabwe. I miss Mr. Zimbabwe. Also, let me know if the music's too loud. This varies in my ear a lot. I don't know if it's varying in your ear. But anyway, so ideally on the 5-minute chart, I want this 200 period moving average model to play out. So I think it'll cross the 200 period here. Obviously, it could bounce right off and be done with everything. Could come up, bounce off that, and that's it for that. But I'd like to see it work on the 5-minute here, because then I know my trade on the 1-minute chart would be heavy in the profits, and this would just reinforce it to hold on to it longer. And you do that, music could go down a notch. Yeah, this music, when it comes in off the browser, I don't have the same control over it as I have over when I'm playing it on my sound machine. Down a notch. Actually 5 notches. So let's go to the 15-minute chart. See how this plays out. All right, well, we've got a long way to go on the 15-minute chart. Let's see, on the 15-minute chart. You know what I forgot. Well, we saw one of the things that we saw on the 1-minute chart this morning.
Imagine if every corner of your countertop was as impressive as that corner.
As the ad.
Just a twist.
Did this happen this morning or did it happen? I was looking for the money printer. Might have been on a different chart. Anyway, let's go 15-minute chart. Almost a money printer today. Anyway, but as you can see on the 15-minute chart, we're a long way. We've got the moving average is up in the 91,000 range, and we are at 90,200. Actually, it's not that long of a way, but it's not ready for that trade setup at all. And even if we switch to an hour, it'll probably be just as miserable. Yep. All right, so that's the play for the trade today during the show. Let's go back to the 1-minute chart, see how it's working out. This is good. The blue is, I don't remember if it's the 100 period moving average is coming up, going to cross the 200. It's good. It's good for an uptrend. All right. Let's see how many people we got here watching. Thanks everybody that's watching today. We're gonna follow this trade here on. Little did I know my head was covering it there, but like I said here, right at that point here, went long. Immediately pumped up, dropped back down, but this green moving average is 100 periods, moving up above the 200 period. Good for a nice little long run this morning. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing? Yeah, good. Good. I just got a note. I don't think Pedro's going to be with us, so I probably won't be on 2 hours today. Although I might, just to entertain you and keep some filler. December's going to be a tough month to get. We have to get all of our broadcasting hours in. Which is 30 hours, and 5 of those need to be premium. I got in, so far we've got 1.6 hours of premium from last night. We've got 11.1 hours broadcasted after today, hopefully 13. We've got 11 out of 20 chatters. If any of you guys got your alt accounts, feel free to chat us up here. We need more than 20. And we need 200 hours viewing time. And we've got 84. We're right on track to make it. Last month we had 460 hours. We had a couple of good shows that a lot of people watched, which was really good. But anyway, this is all up to you guys. Chuck, I sent a request to Rumble saying, hey, most of our viewers in the United States, the percentage of people in the United States with cell phones is like 85% iPhone. And so, and most of Rumble's broadcasts are people in the United States. And while the crypto and finance category is growing on Rumble, the main viewership are the crazy people. Just I won't mention politics on it, but they're the extremists. I can't even say that because that's not right. I'm just going to mention it. There's this lady by the name of Candace Jones, who's getting millions of views on YouTube and on Rumble, saying that. It's going to take me a second to get this right. And what I'm about to tell you, people believe that Erica Kirk, the Israeli government, the United States military, the Utah State Police, and the Egyptian military, and Charlie Kirk's security staff and his high-end executive staff, all those people, all of them, were in cahoots to kill Charlie Kirk. That's right. And they're getting millions of views. We all know some crazy tranny dude. I mean, they caught him. And she's trying to say this crazy conspiracy stuff, which I'm sure she knows is false. Because she worked for Charlie Kirk. She was one of the big supporters of his group. But now she's making millions of dollars from maybe not millions of dollars, but she's making a ton of money. A ton of money as a broadcaster. I'd love to have 1 million viewers on a show. It would be unbelievable. People just throw money in. Take my money. And people believe it. They believe that. They believe that the Egyptians and the Israelis would conspire together to kill somebody in public. The Egyptians and the Israelis don't conspire to do anything together. There's one flight that goes from Cairo to Tel Aviv in an unmarked plane. It's just so diplomats can go back and forth and businessmen that deal with both countries. It's unmarked, so it doesn't... These countries go to war every couple of decades. Just one of those most outlandish things. You think it would be easier just to stick a needle or something in him while he's sleeping, and then Charlie had a heart attack last night. Instead of a public execution, you have to get some random trans dude It's the most amazing thing. And unfortunately, a lot of the Rumble crowd is hooked into that because Rumble has done a very good job saying we are free speech oriented. Free speech oriented, say what you want. We're not going to do it. YouTube has recently come out and said we're free speech oriented too, and has allowed these people like Candace Owen and Alex Jones and people like that to go back on YouTube and say their thing because they were losing dramatically. And YouTube got figured out their advertising platform so that people can say, advertisers can say, I don't want to be on those platforms. But then they derate programs that are linked to gambling, which they call crypto gambling. So you can see the big crypto shows no longer have 20, 30,000 viewers. They have, 2,000, 3,000, and the smaller ones went from a couple hundred to, well, on YouTube right now we have 4. That's right, 4. Thank you, YouTube. But whoever that is watching us out there, give us a comment. Really appreciate it if you did. Did I get the X feed up? I did not get, oh, not the X feed, but the X comments. Welcome, X viewers. Remember, for those of you watching on X, remember, Elon hasn't got their broadcast system set up just yet for convenience, especially for people on their cell phones. You gotta click on the video, and if you're on your cell phone, it'll appear in a little window down there, and then you can keep doom scrolling. But if you're on your desktop, click on the tweet itself, and it'll bring up the broadcast window. Open it in a new window, drag it over here on your other screen or something like that, and watch us. I'm trying to boost up the X visibility thing there because they're starting to do what LinkedIn did. LinkedIn used to let you link to YouTube and other type of stuff, but that kept driving people off platform, and so they started derating those posts that linked off platform. And X is starting to do that too. They're like, instead of posting a link to a video on another channel, upload the video here or go live here. I get it. So trying to do that. Yesterday it worked out really well. We got like 65 viewers on LinkedIn, or views, the difference. Like the X still tricks you when you go and you look at the thing that of all the videos playing, and it says how many people are in it. It says, Mario and Awful, 34,000. And you think 34,000 people are watching him right now. No, that's how many people have seen the feed. And you have to go to the video itself and then look at the stats, and then it says 5,000 people watching or 2,000 people watching. They trick you. Let's see how many people we have watching on X right now. 12. No, good for that. And sure, just like clockwork. Just hello from the dark side. The question is, Chuck, do you have X set on dark mode so it's black screen instead of with white text? Like, that's how I do it. All right, I went over Bitcoin. We're watching. You know what? What's really good? Let's go back to Bitcoin real quick here. We're having something good happen here, I think. We're in this trade. Yes, he does. We're long from this position here, 90. See, just as I mentioned it, market maker decides to take it down. What I was about to say is that could have a little bit of a flag here. But guys, taking it down right now. So if this thing busts under 200, we will consider our position closed. Did it bounce off the 200? We shall see here. Keep that out away from me here. What I was saying earlier, we got long here when they went not here on this white candle, which is red. I don't like to see red candles, so I changed them to white. But when it came back up here on this green candle and crossed, price action crossed, that's when we would have got long. Immediately pumped, because that's a very good bull signal here. It wasn't long enough. Pedro would say volume's not enough to sustain it, and he's right. But also we had a big sell cycle right here. I don't know why. Must have been some news out or something. There's no numbers today. Forex Factory is empty today. And so now we're in this little triangle forming here. A little flag forming. We'll see. We'll see if it breaks out there. Would like it just to keep bouncing off this 200 period. As it gets closer to this thing, pop out. Go for the win. And go for the win. But now we're going to go for the news article. And
super hydration keeps me 24/7 moisturized and
sorry about those strange ads. But now we're going to hit a couple of stories that I want to talk about. Yesterday I talked about where's my all right, let's start out with the main story of the day. Main story of the day, the DEGEN ETF. The DEGEN ETF. Actually, how do you like this the video I made of this? I mean, what did we, I don't know, I must have made some really crappy thumbnails a long time ago, having to design them myself and make them. Now you just tell Grok, do this on a DEGEN ETF sign. Well, many of you hear me up here talking about all the time of emotions in trading. Emotions in trading and how disastrous they are to your trading. When you're an emotional trader, you lose money because you FOMO into things, you panic sell, and do all the things you're not supposed to. You know, trades are supposed to have proper setups that have proven, back-tested over time to be profitable. For you, everything's not the same. Everyone views the chart a little differently and sees slightly different patterns and has slightly different risk profile. So can't say every setup for every person is the same. And starting crypto kind of full-time 4 years ago, you know, in the DEGEN 4 years ago was pure DEGEN. I mean, we had SafeMoon, we had even DYOR token going nuts, we had all sorts of things, 10xing, 100xing, just boom, 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 boom. Fraud rug pull started. It was a disaster. Every type of new protocol started, and they just failed immediately. It was like, this is going to be huge. We're going to have a new blockchain. It's going to be huge. Just nothing. I mean, NetZ. But now, to the point where you guys heard me talk all year about learning to trade, getting the emotions out, doing all this type of stuff. And even in the point where, even in the part where I forced myself to start writing everything down, just like Pedro and everyone says, journal everything, create your data stream, your book of trades. And it taught me, and I've mentioned this a million times, it taught me that I had a very good trading record. I was winning 70% plus in my trades. All is good, green, 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 red, green, 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 red, green, 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 red. It was a great thing. I'm like, wow, I'm really good at this. But I didn't make any money. So I'm not so good at it. I wasn't making any money because I was selling on emotion. As soon as I had a profit, let me rephrase that. I was selling to make a small profit because I could see that I would have a winning trade. It would drive my percentage wins up. And that made me feel good. I'm like, ooh, I went from 68 to 72%. That's really, it makes me feel good. Does that really matter? No. Did my bank balance go up a lot? Barely. Sometimes I'd have a $25 trade, but it was $16 in fees. And so you're like, wait a minute, I only cleared $9. Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I had let emotion get into my trading by going after certain goals, and because it made me feel good. What should make me feel good is paying bills, is writing that check for rent, or for your car, or for groceries. Why do I say check? I haven't written a check in 10 years. Paying your bills, that should make you feel good. How you get there should be work, right? And just as I've got that baked into my head now. I've really, really got 98% of the emotion out. And then we have VanEck. A new DEGEN ETF, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. A basket of assets built around millennial finance, the gig economy, and digital gambling has been built into this index. Does it get any better than that? On my Truth Social post today, I say, do you need... Well, I just have to read it. Professional trader? Need a DEGEN fix? Well, here you go. Basket of assets built around millennial finance, the gig economy, and digital gambling. Wall Street is no longer dancing around DEGEN culture. They are embracing it. VanEck is officially converting its gaming ETF into the VanEck DEGEN economy. Actually, yeah, to be clear, VanEck had a gaming, focused on the gaming groups. But it actually didn't do that well because there's not enough companies that fit into that niche to have a proper index. They all kind of track the same, on earnings calls. They do a little bit different. So they said, all right, we need to expand this into, let's put gambling in there, and digital gambling, polymarket, all these other types. Well, they can only focus on publicly traded companies. But for sure, there's going to be plenty in that space. The ETF will hold public companies whose business models mirror the core behaviors of the online DEGEN culture. Now, this, I'm sure, was softened by AI. Digital brokerage platforms like Robinhood, digital asset exchanges, neobanks, consumer credit scoring services, electronic payment providers, gig economy and online forums such as ride-hailing, food grocery delivery, online forums, freelance marketplaces, and peer-to-peer platforms, all the things that the 20-year-olds use. Digital gambling, betting and gaming, online gambling platforms, iGaming software, digital lottery and casino operators, video game developers, and sports data analytical providers. All of these are growing like crazy. Digital gambling, especially, these poly markets and stuff, however, they're going to reach a limit in which there's just no new clients. And then there's going to be a scandal, just like there was with the NBA, in which it turns out that the NBA was fixing games. And some of the coaches were in on things and players were in on it. That's happening in other places. The FBI is going to find them. I'm sure it's going to happen in the NFL. I'm sure it's going to happen in Major League Baseball. I'm sure it's going to happen in whatever sport that you could possibly, Premier League. Oh, I fell down. Oh, ow. Oh, nobody saw that. And you're going to see it. So it's basically an ETF built around, as it says here, the Robinhood culture crossed with Uber, DoorDash, and DraftKings, all wrapped into an index. And even Eric Belkunis, coming soon to a brokerage near you, they're changing the name, blah, 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 to digital gaming, to concentrate on digital gaming gambling. The old ETF was a dud. Might as well mess with it. And DEGENs are a growing economic faction. That's true. That's true. Let's see if there's any good comments here. Just here. Simple one. Aped. That show up? I don't know how I turn the social stream off here. That's strange. apes. Still got this beat driving in my head. Yeah, and see this guy in Harambe posts. Organized crime seized all this event contract games. People will get hurt for money. That clearly was written and badly translated, but the point is the organized crime moves into this pretty quickly. Usually you had to keep didn't have to worry about it if there wasn't cash involved, because it's difficult for organized crime to operate in a cashless society. Not so fast. They're still working that cash economy behind the scenes. So, and in fact, there was briefcases of cash and all that type of stuff for the NBA people. But that's just going to be, you'll hear that is the push for a central bank digital currency. Oh, well, there's still crime with cash, so we better just get rid of it so the government can control everything. I participate in a LinkedIn forum about KYC, anti-money laundering, tax or rules, and for the professional people that do that. And they're crazy. They're absolutely all crazy. They're all on board of like, no, like if someone has $1 million in transactions and there's like $10 that they can't trace exactly where it came from. They want to be able to close that loophole. That could be 0.001% fraud. So they want to close it. And I argue back. I'm like, no, we need to get rid of all you guys and just let money be money. Let law enforcement just do their job normally. We don't have to rely on restricting the economy, because every AML and KYC rule restricts economy. It's like zoning laws in housing. Zoning laws in housing restrict the supply, driving up the price. KYC and AML rules restrict transactions, restrict the free flow of money, thus depressing the economy, essentially limiting supply, and of course raising demand for black markets and barter markets and hawala markets, all that type of stuff. All right, that's enough of the space music. Let's bring this back. Bring this back with the yes. There we go. Back to normal. Although that's a little loud. Anyway, like I said, DEGEN ETFs. DEGENs unite! DEGENs unite. All right, let's go back to our Bitcoin trade. See how it's doing. Not that chart. Not that chart. This one. Just as predicted. How about that? How about that, ladies and gentlemen? My prediction worked. A little sooner than I thought. I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen. Nope, I'm sorry. That happened right. It happened 5 minutes before. I thought it would get down, follow this 200, and where the 200 period right here, where the 200 period crosses the top of the triangle. I thought that's when it would break out, but it didn't. So we're in a nice gain on this trade right here. This would have been a very short-term trade, and it's bouncing off of something here. So I would at least take half my gains out of the trade there. How about that? How about that? Sam Price, thank you very much. Crypto Lifer, you taught me that, and it works right there. Lovely, huh? Lovely. All right, we'll watch that one and see how much more fat stacks of cash we make on that. Pedro, if you're watching, I simply can't remember what your BTC trade. I went to go watch it before the show. Hey, look at this. We're in the monies. We're in the monies. Gonna do my Ellen dance. My white boy dance. Come on, no comments from the crowd there? Ugh. You guys crack me up. All right, let's see what we got for... Thanks everyone that's watching here. Well, I'm going to have to, since we got a good crowd here, I'm going to have to do another ad. This is one of my favorites because the missus and I live part-time in Chicago. And so we are going to do an ad for the Chicago Steak Company. That's right. Chicago Steak Company. Delicious stuff. Everyone in our lives, all of you guys know someone that you have to buy a gift for, but you just have no idea. It's like, and even if you ask them, if they're like, I don't know, because they get whatever they want. They live by themselves. They have a decent income, or they're retired and they have everything good going for them. You just don't know what to get them. You're just like, everything they need, they buy. And they need a new pair of socks, they get new socks. They need a new widget, they need a multimeter, whatever, they just buy it. But there's just nothing wrong with some good steaks. So what do you give someone that already has everything? You give them the sound of a perfect sear. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, head to mychicagosteak.com/rumble. Use the code RUMBLE fast. The Chicago Steak Company, top 2% of beef in America. USDA prime and premium Angus, hand cut by master butchers. The kind of marbling that hits the hot pan and fills the whole house with that smell. Ooh, that buttery meat goodness. You know the one. Spend $229 on any holiday order and your gift arrives at your loved one's door with 6 free petite ribeyes plus free shipping. That's $240 in premium steak. Absolutely free. Then there's the unboxing. A black and gold gift box worth unwrapping, packed with dry ice. Smoke rolling out of it when they crack it open. Christmas morning energy. But trust me, you got to open it before Christmas. The dry ice eventually evaporates. It's not just another sweater, ladies and gentlemen. It's dinner that becomes a memory. That's right, mychicagosteak.com/rumble. Use the code RUMBLE. That's RUMBLE, Rumble. Over there, ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code there. It says free shipping plus 6 free ribeyes. Use code RUMBLE. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your cell phone up there. Put your eyeballs on our advertisers. It helps Pedro and I out a lot. When you do that, no, we don't make any money from it, but it shows our advertisers that our audience is interactive and lets them know that the demographics are right. So help us out by doing that. And if you want, maybe you can even perhaps buy some and send it to a loved one. Now then I would appreciate that. Anyway, if you're watching on your cell phone, ladies and gentlemen, there's a link in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much for watching. And there's a link in the description. Thank you to mychicagosteak.com for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live. I hope these guys are actually in Chicago. Because I bought some. Yeah, no, they're not. This is striking. Because and I bought them being a Chicagoan. My Chicago steak, perfect, all that good. And also, if you're Chicago steak people, you're copywriting people. Yesterday when I read that ad, it was brutal. I couldn't read. The sentences didn't flow well. You know, when you write these things, people write them and they're like, okay, and they probably use AI to tweak them. You have to write them in a way that someone's going to speak it and announce it, not just think about it in their brains. Different style of writing, especially if you want it to be entertaining. And they tweaked it. They changed it today. It was a little different and much smoother. So thank you. Thank you, guys. Green go boom. Pedro must have put his hair back. Or let his hair down. He doesn't have any hair to let down anymore. But as you can see here on the chart, right here, boom, bada bing, bada boom. Nice pump up. And we're along and making the monies here. You know what, let me do, obviously I didn't do a real trade on that, but let's go just backfill what the real trade would be on that. Or would have been. What would I have done? I would have bet $10 million on it and I'd be up $5 million right now. I would not have. Let's see. So I would have. Let's move this over so everyone can see it. I got in right when it came back in, right here. I would have put my stop down below this level here. So I would have put the stop down here, in there somewhere, and I would have done I would have set it up as a 3-for-1, which would be here. I would have set it up like this. But like I said, I would have taken some profits here where we reach the tops. There's just right here you can see that there's a lot of resistance right there. If I had the things over here, whatever you call them up, you would have seen a big strong node right there. So we're in the money. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't done a day trade on the show. I like doing it. So if you would have stuck with us, we would have made monies today. Still going up, recovering a little. Would be nice to go up and hit this trade out exactly here. The terminus at 90,888. Not impossible. Let's move to a later chart. See if the later charts are moving and grooving. All right. So on the 5-minute chart, this is just a strong breakout here. I mean, this was textbook. Came down. Pedro always says, like to see volume and demand wicks, and we did have some volume. It was selling, but the volume was okay. It didn't, like, if it stayed where this level is here, would have been terrible. But stayed a little bit higher that, and it's moving above the 5-minute 200 period moving average. So our trade setup is working perfectly this morning, and now all we need is time. We need the let's see, 1, 2. We need about, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need about another 20 minutes or so before the 8 period comes up over the 200 period, and another 4, 5, 6, 7 periods after that. So another hour here to see how this is going to play out. Hour? 15, yeah, about an hour to see how it's going to play out. If it confirms to go up above the 5. And if it does, then we're going to have a good pump on our hands, and it'll probably reach the terminus of our trade, and we will have done a good 3-for-1 on it. But let's go to the 15-minute one and look at that. Still really far from that. So there's no trade on the 15-minute chart here yet. Well, let's look at other patterns on the 15-minute. Well, we had a little mini money printer here. This candle down here, and then went up, came back down right into the golden pocket. That's not really a money printer. Well, technically it's not, because it's out of the time zone. The time frame for that is in the New York morning. And also, well, Pedro would say here that the supply wicks on the 15-minute chart are much larger than the demand wick, so he wouldn't be happy with that. So let's keep an eye on this, and we'll head to one of the other things we want to talk about here today. Where did my Saylor article go? Page read. I always forget. I don't want that one. All right. Well, I'll skip to the second part. Well, let's. I'll just talk about it. I'll put the Saylor thing up here. Big news, Bhutan launches gold-backed digital token on Solana. Saylor's strategy is not included in a lot of the indices. There's all types of indexes that track various things, and one of the big providers of those is MSCI, and they're not including strategy anymore because they're mostly a treasury company, and the index people said these treasury companies are not proven, and Saylor just kind of lit into them here by saying, talking about Bitcoin, other digital assets, our foundational technologies. What do they call them? DATs, digital asset technologies, DATs. He's come up with a new acronym. Are building emergent financial system. The U.S. is poised to lead that. Why MSCI should keep DATs in its global investable market indexes. The reason this is important, a lot of pension funds, hedge funds, your investment advisors, they only invest in indexes that are rated by larger companies. I mean, I could make an index right now and set up a fund and all that type of stuff and say, hey, send me $1 billion and I'll invest in these 25 companies or all companies in this sphere. And they'll be like, no, we don't know who you are and we don't know your track record. So there are ratings companies out there or companies that put together these indexes. It might not even take money. They just put the indexes together. Sorry about that. Just getting a note here. And they're not including strategy or American Bitcoin or anything like that. And he's arguing for it. Anyway, that's not the news. I don't have the article up behind me. But the Bitcoin MENA, Bitcoin Middle East North Africa conference just went on in Abu Dhabi. And I haven't been to Abu Dhabi in 7 years, since before COVID. And I really miss it. I like it. It's a great city. It's like, it's not like Dubai. Dubai is like Miami, and Abu Dhabi is more like Washington, D.C. But in both cases, with a lot more optimism and no fighting, no political fighting. Imagine no political fighting in Washington, D.C. Anyway, Saylor gave a speech talking about how what we talk about here, or at least what I've talked about a lot, is his vision for the future with Bitcoin as a major settlement layer for all types of financial instruments, including debt. And what he made a very important talk about something that I mentioned in one of my BRICS videos, is that proper markets, Bitcoin is not a proper market. It's not meant to be a unit to pay people in. It's not meant to be a digital currency in which we transact in it all day long. It's just not set up for that. What it's set up to be is a reserve currency, a foundation for I'll say reserve wealth or value, something like that. The base layer. In other layers, one of the most important layers is credit. Economies do not work without credit, or they work badly without credit. Oh, I can't wait to see who this is on Twitch. How are you doing, Natty Gill? Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it on Twitch. Enjoy having a new subscriber and a viewer on Twitch. Thanks for joining us. And so, if Bitcoin is going to be the settlement layer, it needs to have a number of financial instruments trade on top of it. Just like the US dollar, not all the time do people trade US dollars. They trade corporate debt. They trade shares of companies, which is equities. They trade derivatives of all of those. They trade baskets of them, all this type of stuff. Bitcoin needs that too. And that's why he's amassing all of this Bitcoin, is so he can provide all of these other things. If you want to take your company public and do it in Bitcoin, his company strategy is the one to do it, because they'll issue you your shares in Bitcoin, not in dollars. And then you can trade equities in Bitcoin. In the Bitcoin, you don't even care what the price of the US dollars. That's like saying, if I'm buying shares in Ford in US dollars, and someone says, yeah, but the Canadian dollar is this. I don't care. I'm buying US dollar Ford, the Ford US dollar pair. It's essentially what it is. And so he's saying this is going to be the Bitcoin pair. Shares of your company paired with Bitcoin, not with the US dollar. Debt, corporate debt with your company. Corporate debt paired with Bitcoin. Just for those of you in the crypto world, think of it like that. When they talk about Bitcoin as a settlement layer, just think about it as paired with, and you'll get it. You'll get it. Paired with Bitcoin. And so you don't care what the price of the dollar is. You just want to know how much Bitcoin it's worth. Good deal. And then when you have these companies operating in Bitcoin, in equity level and in the debt level, then you're able to issue credit to other people. People can place their shares in trust for other people to loan against. You can use that as collateral. You can lend it to other companies so they can lend it out. Do all the same things they do in the regular markets, except paired with Bitcoin. Bitcoin. This is the wrong. I had a whole speech set up for this, but on a different page, different graphic. I'm pointing to something that's not there. And so it blows your mind when he's got this whole plan, basically to essentially come up with the whole Wall Street market. The whole thing, but under his company. Obviously, it can't work all under his company. He needs to set the base, the base for everything, and bring some confidence into it, so other companies can also participate and do the same thing. And you see all these other companies hopping on the Treasury bandwagon, but they're not. They're doing that solely for PR. They're like, wow, Galaxy Digital put more Bitcoin on its balance sheet, or GameStop bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin or something like that. They're just putting it on it so they can have a press release, so their share price go up, so they can sell their shares at a higher price, let it go down, they'll buy it again, and keep making money off the moves on their share price. They don't have a strategy that's trying to change the world or recreate Wall Street's entire system, but paired with Bitcoin. How about that? How about that? And the more I get it, I'm like, the more it's genius. Because it could work. Because it could work. Yeah, let's at least, if I'm gonna have this on here, have the ship flying. It could work. Saylor could pull this off. He could. Imagine who's gonna be the first company. It's probably, I bet you it's a SPAC. I bet you they'll set up a special purpose acquisition company, the shell company that's gone public, and its goal is to merge with other companies that are not SPACs to go public. And then they'll be the first company that's Bitcoin based. And you know what? I bet you it'll be in an investment fund. But its price will be quoted in Bitcoin. Its price will be not valued against the US dollar. And then once it's operating and moving along, it'll issue corporate debt in Bitcoin. Good job, Michael. Good job. And I hope I explained it well. I hope I explained it in which, essentially, when you talk about other currencies as a settlement layer, it's, for you crypto degens, it's just thinking about it being paired with. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for allowing me to chat about that. I think I might break that one out and repost it. Let's head back to the Bitcoin. Not that chart. Not that chart. This chart. Let's head back to the minute chart. All right, I'm starting to struggle here right now. Okay, well, saw the 21 period move on top of the 8, not good. That signifies that the price is going to come down a little bit, but we're oversold on the Stokes. RSI is still high, but not out of the ordinary. Volume is not great. Volume's not great. Fire Chicken says that would be a good one to post by itself. I think if we refine that, if I refine that well enough, Chuck, that would be something good for the Fire Chicken knowledge for how to how to expand the knowledge, or how to explain what Saylor's trying to do. But it's really clear in my head now, and explaining it is better, but it still needs a little refinement. Needs some refinement. And of course, Fire Chicken's got the emotes. You know what? Let's do. Don't forget about our custom DYOR remotes here. See? There's me. Let's do. This is the Bitcoin is falling girl here. That's the Ethereum girl, I think. That would be Pedro. This is the US dollar. But if you hover over them, it tells you what they are. Let's see, I gotta add some more. Oh yes, the Bourbon Girl. One of my favorites. Oh, I forgot I need to adjust the size of this font here so you can see these things better. Anyway, let's head back to the future. Before we watch this trade, you know what? Yeah, let's look at the trade one more time here. It's doing a good thing here, ladies and gentlemen. It's doing this. We're gonna have another breakout here in a minute. We can see it already broke out. Here on the 1 minute chart, it's about to do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, you're watching DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It's 1:30 here, Eastern Time, actually a little more than that, 1:35 Eastern Time in the United States. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate it. This is the 2-hour DYOR Live show on the DYOR Media Network. Usually my co-host Pedro Garcia is with us. It's that time of the year when schedules are all jacked up, as they say, so he's not with us today. So I'm giving a good deep dive into the Bitcoin strategy that I have learned that happens to be playing out during this show, and we're making a little money on it. We're here every day talking about, obviously, crypto, Bitcoin. We don't talk much about altcoins anymore. Why? Because they all suck. That's right. They just all suck. But I'm sure we'll be talking about more of them once they start showing a little bit. Once Bitcoin dominance starts coming down, we'll start talking about altcoins more. We don't really talk about meme coins much anymore because we focus mostly on the day trading things, because that's what Pedro is good at. Crude oil, gold, silver, all this type of stuff. Oh yeah, that's right, Chuck. Let's talk about silver. Let's open up a new tab for that. Yesterday, Pedro was talking about the silver. There's the silver spot market. That's the 1 minute chart. Let's go to the hourly chart here. Oh, yeah, that worked out all right. So yesterday at showtime. Yesterday at showtime was Wednesday. We were trading at $61, and since then silver has pumped to $64. You know, let's look at the chart to see if anything gave it away as a pumporama yesterday. All right, let's go to the lower time frame, 15-minute. Let's see, Wednesday. Yeah, right at this point where it pumped yesterday was at the FOMC meeting. That's interesting, and it's gone off on like a rocket since then. Anyway, but right about here, Pedro was saying, yeah, we're looking good for silver. We had a nice discussion about it, and look, I mean, silver doesn't very rarely move $3 in one day. 60, moved $4. $4 in one day. That's crazy. Dude, I forgot to post. I forgot to post my welcome message. Welcome, everyone. Please like, subscribe, repost, comment down below, chat here, follow, do whatever. Just do it. All right, where did it not post? Welcome, everyone. Please comment, like, subscribe, repost, comment. I guess I say comment twice. Chat, follow, whatever. Just do it. Just do it. Helps us out when you drop the link to our show in a trading group of yours, group of friends, something that you take time to spend time in. Take time to spend time in. Groups that you hang out in that would be interested in the show, please let them know about us. Give them the opportunity to experience our greatness. That was weird. Where'd the price go? There we go. Is that the mainframe system here in DYOR repopulate, otherwise known as the API to CoinGecko. All right, so silver kicking butt there. That's that worked out to be a nice trade. Let's go to the 1 minute silver chart. See if it did my 200 period model. Yeah, it did it right here. There. No, not even. I wouldn't have taken that. It's not a classic model. I would have taken it. It hasn't been. Yeah, I would have taken it here. This is the middle of the night. I would have taken it right in this area, right in the $61 range, and I would have held it. Let's see, and I would have put a stop in around $61. I would have put it right down here, $61.70. Never came down that low, so I wouldn't have stopped out. And it'd be. Did it come down that? Nope, I would not have gotten stopped out. 61.70. Yeah, close. But then I would have ridden the trade up like this, and I would have sold I would have sold right about here, $63. Anyway, kudos to everyone that got in on that silver trade. Booming. You know, might as well look at gold. Gold's up $50 today. The 1 hour gold chart. Similar. Look at that. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Killer. Anyway, I got this article. Bhutan launches the gold-backed digital token. Imagine going to your investment broker, saying, "Hey Jim, got this idea. It's a sure thing. It's definitely a sure thing. Look, Jim. Bhutan. Bhutan. Actually, I shouldn't make fun of it. Because Bhutan does mine gold. And the military junta there seized it forever. Just kept it for themselves. But anyway, they introduced the sovereign gold-backed digital token TER, leveraging Solana blockchain to bring physical gold into the digital realm. Bhutan announces the launch, blah, 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 I'm not going to read all that, issued on Solana's blockchain infrastructure and distributed exclusively by DK Bank, Bhutan's first digital bank. The initiative represents a significant step in Bhutan's innovative approach to digital assets and sovereign technology integration. Facts, what is a TER? Gold-backed digital token issued by the Kingdom of Bhutan. With blockchain, Solana distributes DK Bank. What makes this token unique? Sovereign backing and alignment with Bhutanese values and transparency. Let's do something here. Let's do an experiment, thought experiment here. How stable is the Bhutan government? Suppose that's correct. Constitutional monarchy. Should have said so, but it's constitutional monarchy, parliamentary democracy, where the king serves as head of state and the prime minister leads the executive branch. It has demonstrated notable stability in recent years, particularly through its consolidation of democratic institutions since the transition from absolute monarchy in 2008. That's interesting. They went from absolute monarchy to a constitutional one. Constitutional monarchy, think Canada, think England, or the UK, think Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands, yada, yada, yada. Free and fair elections. People staying rule. All right, well. Security and low violence. Crime rates are low and declining overall. That's good. Government, World Bank's worldwide governance indicators give Bhutan a political stability score of 1. It's right in the middle. Good job. All right, Bhutan. Well, there you go. Now they're issuing digitally sovereign-backed gold. It's just the start of it, though. I mean, it's growing. The question is, how do you take delivery of gold from Bhutan? Say you say, I want the actual gold to import it into U.S. It's tough. It's tough bringing gold in and out of countries. Very tough. This other yesterday on the Space Lounge, the Whitebit token over here on the great graphics machine here, Whitebit crept up here. If you don't know what the Whitebit token is, it's like it's an exchange token. It's like Nexy's token and stuff like that, but it's for Europe. Whitebit is primarily a European exchange, and their token has gone from $4 to $61 in the past 2 years. I bet you that one has slipped your mind. A European exchange booming. And all we do, Pedro and I talk about Europe, is places where crypto goes to die, where innovation goes to die. But anyway, what turns out, Whitebit has been offering like Robinhood does and Crypto.com does, offering a card to pay for things. And they said, how are people actually using our card? Let's do a study on it. And they're actually moving towards spending a lot of money directly from stablecoins. And a lot of vendors, a lot of online vendors now, when you go for payment methods, because they use Shopify or Shop.com or Wix or Squarespace or Square or whatever, there's a pay in crypto section. And even they've integrated them into Apple's big Apple Pay, Clover. They own that Clover group. I believe they've integrated crypto into that. So people are tapping and paying in stable coins. New data set from Whitebit Nova shows reveals how Europeans are quietly turning crypto into an everyday spending tool rather than a speculative side hobby. So now that more people are doing that, it's going to become very difficult for governments to say this is property. If they're out there spending it and buying it and using it as a currency, they're going to have to rule that it is a currency. They're not just stacking crypto, they're spending it on groceries, cafe runs, and their endless carousel of subscription services. Fresh figures shared exclusively at Bitcoin.com News offered a detailed look at spending trends from Whitebit. Whitebit's debit card service. The card has processed more than 50 million euros in transactions to date, which is barely anything compared to Visa. There's like 50 million a second at Visa. Users are spending roughly 500 euros to 1,000 euros a month on everyday purchases, with 750 euros emerging as the average. What stands out in the data is not just how ordinary these transactions look. Users are tapping crypto not for luxury buys, but for life's routine demands. Groceries, 21%, food and cafes, 19%, subscriptions, 14%. Means half of all Nova card activity goes to core household costs. Hardly the profile of a niche experiment. Very interesting. And Pedro and I have talked about this a lot. We've talked about this. We've talked about how people are not gonna, the old school people, us youngsters, will watch the explosion of stable coins and say, yeah, we told you. And now Europe is just seeing it starting to percolate. And it's gonna explode here in the US. If you can opt to receive your payroll from your payroll company in USDT or USDC, you're going to see a very big switch to people doing that, because then they can avoid their bank, and banks will, they'll follow up soon and say, oh, you can deposit USDC, no problem. That just cost you $50 million to do it in fees. So I don't think, I think we're going to see an explosion of that, as basically, every year someone graduates from school and gets a job. Striking Jr. And that needs to happen. More younger people get in the market, old people die out of the market, and you're going to see the change in how finances work. Like, for instance, I'm very happy that the Rumble wallet down here, people, it says tip, tip, tip. I know. I'm pressuring you guys to do that. Doesn't work on Apple. I know. Sorry if my mic is making a lot of noise. It's not done correctly today. But you're just gonna see. Obviously, younger people are early adopters in this type of stuff, and so forth. Whitebit, who knew? And who knew? And who knew Whitebit? Here's the Whitebit daily chart. Here. Look at this. Where Pedro? Why wasn't this on your list? October of 23. $4. October of 24, $12. A 3x. 3x in 1 year. It looks like it didn't even move. And then it starts its run last October and didn't suffer what everyone else suffered. You compare this to BNB, not the same chart. Compare this to Mexi's coin, not the same chart. This one goes on a rocket ship. This summer, we saw an amazing pump. $30 to $50, a pullback down to 41, and then now up to $64. This is a daily chart. This isn't a 1 minute pump chart. Whitebit, ladies and gentlemen. $172 million past 24-hour volume, $13 billion market cap. Any of the viewers here know about Whitebit? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, you know that I can't go a long time without doing 1775 coffee ad. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, have you still not tried 1775 coffee? I've been talking about this for a while. You know that this is your shot. They made 1,000 of these special box units. They made only 1,000 of these 1775 starter kits. Now's your shot to get it. You get 3 things when you order this package from 1775 Coffee. You get their bold dark roast, that hits hard. You get their smooth medium roast, and you get their Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. It's all single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus you're also getting a gold spoon clip, because why? Freedom isn't scooped with plastic, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. You're getting a frother strong enough to stir up your mother-in-law's opinions. You're getting a black 1775 tumbler. That's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for 99 bucks. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 Coffee blow up right here on DYOR and on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code over here for brewed, bold, served fresh, unapologetically at home 1775 coffee. Put your cell phone up there, pop that QR code, put your eyeballs on our advertisers. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching in the chat, there's a link function in there in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much. And there is a link in the description to 1775 Coffee. Our viewers have bought it. I've received feedback that it's been a good seller. Really appreciate everyone that has gone out and bought that from the links we provide. It does help us out. Go to 1775coffee.com and thank you for sponsoring this segment of our show. All right, I've read all the ads. We're gonna do something today that. Oh no, that's Steven Crowder. Where's Crypto Mike when you need him? Aha. We are going to raid Wendy's show. Crypto Wendy is on right now.
Just be clear, why is my hair all cuckoo in the back?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you today. Stick around here, and we're gonna raid Crypto Wendy's show. It's a new feature here that I've really been enjoying, the raid function. It's a lot of fun, and we're gonna do that. On your screen, you're going to see a little countdown. It gives you an option to opt out of the raid, but please do it. Allow it to go through. If you're watching us on more than one feed, the other feeds won't. Just the Rumble feed is going to go to Crypto Wendy. So thanks a lot. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be here tomorrow on a Friday show. As always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. So appreciate it. Have a great day. Confirm raid. Ignition sequence started. Enjoy the Crypto Wendy show. Let them know in the chat that you're coming.
Bank of America, Citi, Wells Fargo will meet with the senators, and they want to talk about curbing interest payments by affiliates of stablecoin issuers and other regulatory assets, which is why we don't have the Clarity Act is not really being discussed right now. It's more so the Genius Act, because that undermines the US dollar and people are pissed off about it because it's impacting their bottom line. And over here, Miss Warren, we're not going to accept, this is from Miss Anna Paul Luna. We're not going to accept your 5-year ban on CBDCs. We want it to be permanent. And we'll go to war over it. The entire country should know that it was Warren that is responsible for stripping out the anti-CBDC legislation in the NDAA, and their very low energy Senate Republicans allowed her to do it. Good for her for saying this. So basically what this means is that, Warren, because Trump was like, we're not going to do CBDCs, which that's fake. That's completely fake. That's not how that works. Okay. So basically it's fake. CBDCs are happening. Okay. But now Elizabeth Warren is in a little bit of hot water, primarily because she only wants a 5-year ban on a CBDC. So keep it consistent. So Trump's the problem when again, there's going to be a CBDC regardless of what Trump says. Now, the issue at hand here is, why would Warren only ask for a 5-year ban on CBDCs instead of a complete ban on CBDCs? It's not mathing. Maybe she's going to retire in the next couple of years. And so when everything gets done, she just collects a paycheck because they're like, hey, you know what? Vote on this now and then we'll pay you X, Y, and Z later. To me, that's what's happening. Regardless, we are getting a CBDC, but we still want to see them, pretend to fight about it. So that's kind of what's going on. I've got to get going. And then, I will see you guys at 2 p.m. PT. Make sure to watch my second media pieces. Those are going to be important for you. And then I've got the news wrap up at 6 p.m. PT, but I have to go. I got stuff to do. And I'm going to get some steak and eggs. Going to go make some for myself. Sending you guys love and light. And I will be back tomorrow. Bye, babies.